What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I am joined by the man himself, Mr. VIP Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
I was ready for you, sir. I knew that question was coming. I'm infinitely awesome.
I mean,
Thank
we're
you
only,
for asking.
only, hold up, well, because I got to get the actual number, because I'm about to say we are over, I want to say over 150 videos in.
Oh, that's the number. You said the number.
No, because it's I'm sure it's more than that.
Oh, okay.
But it's a question that I ask every week, so of course you know that the question's coming.
Friday, you might have switched it up, and I could have been unprepared.
177 videos on YouTube.
Woo! What? Congratulations. This is
and
178.
It's more. No, yeah, YouTube will be the accurate number, because I know some of the trailer reactions aren't audio version. Before Spotify started rolling out actual videos for their podcast. So yeah, 177 is the accurate number of how many episodes we have.
And that's not even counting the ones that didn't
that's
upload
not counting,
right.
That's not counting the ones that got nuked. No. So there are more than that. We
that's
probably
not the
would have
ones
been
that YouTube made us take down.
Yeah, we had a couple that YouTube made us take down. We had a couple that got corrupted. So we would probably be at, like, if we had 177, we would probably be somewhere at
Don't tell them.
It wouldn't be that many more. We will let you know that it's not that many more, but there are some that never got to see the light of day.
We're here for y'all, though. We're dedicated.
There was some trailer reactions in there too that we didn't get to post.
I'm eating on the job, so I know that's dedication. I don't even stop to take lunch. I'm eating on the job.
Because we do this for you.
Y'all. It's the final reckoning of my meal.
Oh, okay. That's what it is?
Yeah, because it's going to be gone in a second.
Okay. While you finish up eating, I will let the people know. We don't know. It might be. We don't know. He might get up and go get another one. But this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of superpowered movie, TV show, even trailers. We watch them, we react to them, we review them, we break them down, and we ask the question, is it super?
Is it super? Is it?
Is it?
The final super?
Not the final super. Not the final. For sure.
The reckoning super?
I don't think that fits.
Not with all these episodes. We're still going, baby.
But if you like that, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, just click the link in the description below.
Use your hands to click the link in the description below.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to use your hands. There are some people that...
Finger?
No. What I'm saying is that there's assistive technologies where you can control your mouse cursor on your screen without using your hands.
Can I use other body appendages?
Yeah. Depending on what type of assistive technology you have.
I'm about to start touching things, Spider.
Just keep it on your side of the screen. And whatever you touch, let me know if I need to cut it out. No, I'm just saying if I need to edit something out. So good thing we're not live.
No one will ever know. We need to do a live show. We
can figure that out.
Y'all want us to do a live show? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments if you want to just do a live stream of the podcast. So you can be a part of it. You can be in the chat. You can ask questions. It can be a fun time.
That part?
That part.
We could do all that too?
Yeah.
I want to do it even more now.
But we are here today to talk about the newest
Final Reckoning
and possibly last Mission Impossible.
Well, clearly no.
That's why I said possibly. Because it just really depends.
Why would they call it final when it's not the final?
Well, it's not the final mission. It's just the final reckoning.
So when you say final, it kind of feels complete.
It should.
Stop.
It should.
The reckoning is done.
This is what, number 8?
They're over the hill. They're over the hill. They're in Harry Potter territory now.
Yeah. Well,
they can come right back.
I'm sure there are other franchises that have, because Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. I don't know if they reached the 7 mark, but I know that they have a lot of them.
Yeah, Jason has 10. So yeah, Jason has 10. There was Jason X.
Yeah.
In space.
God, I remember that movie.
Hey man, you got to take your franchise somewhere.
And apparently, space is that area where, and Fast and Furious is another one of them. But yeah, space is that area where when you're done doing everything that you can do on Earth, you gotta go to space. Gotta go to space.
Gotta kill him in space.
Is that the next?
I killed enough people on Earth.
I gotta kill him in space.
I got a checklist, Spider. I gotta check some stuff off.
Is that Ethan Hunt's next destination? Are we going to see? Because he's already gone down. He's gone underwater.
He's up. He saved the world.
Now he has to save. Now he has to save the universe. That's his next thing. He has to save the universe.
No. It's still the world.
How can we get Tom Cruise to run in space? That's the big question.
Treadmill.
No.
Treadmill.
He did the treadmill.
Zero gravity.
He did the treadmill. We got to get him on a distant planet running somehow with artificial gravity or running in low gravity or something.
What a mask on. And then at the end of it, he just jumps off the planet. Just jumps straight off.
Just jump into space. Full gravity style.
The planet is exploding. We're writing the next Mission Impossible, Spider, right now. This is how the think tank works. The whole planet is exploding. The
only way he could get to the planet is hanging on the outside of a rocket ship.
Yes. They like Tom Cruise is
the next logical step. It is the next logical step.
It's like, what? First class? Save those seats. I'm going on the outside of the plane.
He's got to run for 7 minutes to get to the launch pad, not get burnt up by the booster rockets. He's got to scale like the frame of where the side of it, not the rocket itself, but like where they have an elevator where the astronauts go up to get into the rocket. He's got to scale that because he can't get on the elevator because the elevator is locked down. He had the key, but he lost the key about 2 miles back.
Oh man, I saw that when that happened. I was like, how he gonna get in there?
He has to scale
knocking on the door. Nobody's opening the door because they're in their seats
and they're about to lift off. You hear the countdown in your ear. 5, 4, and he doesn't know what to do, so he just has to jump and fucking hold on. But wait, he doesn't have a spacesuit. Because of course he's not going to run in a spacesuit. So when he's getting to the upper atmosphere, he's running out of oxygen. So he has to hurry up and try to find his way into the rocket.
Pete, you're running out of air. This feels like an Avengers movie.
Mr. Stark, it smells like a new car here.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, save that world.
Oh God,
dude! I want to send a shout out to Tom Cruise and his whole team and the whole MI team. Remember, this started from a TV show. I wanted to say this on this show that this was a TV show, and I know there's a lot of speculation that says TV shows can't be great movies because you look at, a couple of TV shows that didn't really make a good movie, but this ain't one of them. This is a TV show that transitioned into a franchise that's...
Oh, it was a book first, wasn't it? Wasn't a book that was a story from a novel that was adapted into a TV show?
But you might be right when you speak.
I could also be wrong.
Well, that's what other sites that's not Google are for. like, being in church and
No, you were right. It originated as a TV series.
What? Don't say it too loud, Strider. The people in the back may hear you. So, as TV shows goes, they did this, and I want to go ahead and put this out there. Mission Impossible may have one of the best recognized iconic theme songs ever, in even the remixes.
Mm-hmm.
You like, mm, 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 mm. You know what that is. You might just start running right there. I don't even know why I'm running. I know I have to. I used to hum it to myself. Look, dude, what I'm telling you, when I go to the gym, I put the Mission Impossible theme song on repeat, and I'm going in. I'm not Ethan Hunt, but
there's only one Ethan Hunt.
There's only one.
No matter how many masks of him that there are probably floating around.
So I guess we could get into this thing. There's some things that we're going to talk about in it, though. But I don't want to get into this thing and not acknowledge the history.
Yes.
That is Mission Impossible 8 movie. Clearly, from the first to the 8th, you've been getting action after action after action. And when we brought Henry Cavill in there to load his arms, grow a mustache, and fight, you were satisfied. But he gave you more. He gave you more action after that, and more action and more action.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are with the final reckoning.
The final reckoning. Basically picking up where Dead Reckoning left off. Now,
this is kind of like a 3-parter.
Is it?
They retconned it to be a 3-parter. The reason why I'm saying this, because the key that shuts off the entity was a part of the process of the rabbit's foot that Ethan stole when he got his wife kidnapped.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's a 3-part. So they're pinning it on Ethan, saying you have destroyed the world.
Yeah.
Because if you would have never stole this, if you would have let your wife die, the world wouldn't be in peril.
Yeah, pretty much.
This mission is one of the most personal missions that he's ever done.
I wouldn't say most personal. It definitely has personal ties. But
the man that he's chasing is the man that killed Ethan Hunt's love interest before he even started the agency.
But she didn't die, though. She's still alive.
Hush your face. Hush your face. That's not important. We need motivation to join. Do you want the world to die, Spider? Did you not talk about Ethan Hunt saved the world so many times? None of that would have happened.
You know what?
If he didn't lose the love of his life.
The planet. I don't know.
It's not okay. Y'all don't know what's happening right now.
But here's what I'm saying, because we know that the entity could effectively commandeer the world's electronics. In this movie, we see that is working on commandeering the world's nuclear missile supplies, and successfully, might I add. But did we need that personal connection to up the stakes to give Ethan any more motivation than he already had? Because he was going to do it regardless, but for them to make it to be his own fault to motivate him even more to succeed, I don't know if that really made too much of a difference.
You're right in a sense of he's never turned a mission down.
Right. They always say this mission, should you choose to accept it? And he's never said, no, I'm not going to do this. He could have easily said no to any mission and been like, just go about his life.
That is when they're, well, then he wouldn't have a life, because clearly these guys do horrific things.
Is he the only, well, I should say, is his team.
He's not the hero that we deserve.
But is his team the only team in the IMF? Because if at any point in time Ethan says,
stick a pin in that, though. Stick a pin in it. Okay. Stick a pin in it. We'll revisit it at the end of this. You're absolutely right. Because if Ethan says no, who do you call?
Exactly. You got to call somebody because it's got to get done.
Spin off. Spin off.
I mean,
because listen,
you can.
Tom Cruise
is
getting up there.
Yeah.
Unless you want to see him in a wheelchair running down the goddamn gateway.
Bionic legs. He's gonna be a roadie.
Oh.
But no, you can. I mean, that's why I was saying that this potentially is the last Mission Impossible, because it could be the last. It could be the last of Ethan's story.
Box office, dude.
I mean, we already know that this movie is gonna make money. Because people love Mission Impossible, but they love Tom Cruise. Who don't love Tom Cruise? A lot of people, but this could be
Scientology aside.
A lot of people, but
God damn,
this could be this Mission Impossible has the ability of remaining steadfast as a franchise without Tom Cruise. Now, I say possibility because you see Mission Impossible is at this point synonymous with Ethan Hunt. That was the whole thing because with Ghost Protocol, I think it was that the one with Jeremy Renner in it, or was that Rogue Nation?
Well, Jeremy Renner was actually in 3 of them. He was in Ghost Protocol, he was in Rogue Nation, and he was in the last
No, see, I'm getting my franchises mixed up. They were they were going to
Bourne Identity?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. They were working on having Jeremy Renner replace Matt Damon in the Bourne series, but when people were like, "Oh, we're not getting on Matt Damon, well, we don't want to watch it," and we're like, "Okay, well, we'll bring Matt Damon back." But even still,
his story was not replacing Matt Damon,
right? And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It would have been another agent. It would have been a new agent under the same universe, under that Bourne bubble. But I think because they still named the movie the Bourne blank, you're thinking, okay, this is still about Jason Bourne. But with Mission Impossible
was.
No, it was because it was still following the exact
same. Right on the heels of, like, everywhere he go, you like see Jason Bourne. It's like, well, are they gonna face each other? It really felt like they were gonna team up and take down the agency.
Right. But
that's what it seemed like they were going.
I think that they saw the pushback from the fans and were like, okay, well, now we got to do another Matt Damon focused story. And then that's where they left the franchise. But with Mission Impossible, as of right now, you think Mission Impossible, you think Ethan Hunt, you think Tom Cruise. Yep. But that's not to say that if you have a good enough story, you have someone who can carry the franchise, you can keep this franchise going for years and years to come. Because it's so easy to be like, okay, we saw the end of this Final Reckoning where Ethan walks off without his team. Well, I mean, they kind of always do that. They leave.
He always walks off.
Yeah, they always walk off without his team. But he's in this. He gave the team to Benji. He said, "This is your team now. You look out for them. You protect them." And so you can easily say Ethan is done. Now we bring in somebody new, but we have to bring in somebody new because Ethan stole something as not a part of a team. Now you have to bring Ethan in, all this other kind of stuff. Make Ethan.
You're not bringing Ethan.
Well, here's the thing: you make Ethan the antagonist because the CIA, the NSA, or whatever government agency wants Ethan's head again. So they bring up somebody new in IMF to go bring him in.
Years.
Yeah, and he was just he wasn't on their radar until he decided that he wanted to be on their radar, which goes to show that this man could effectively disappear. But we don't have Luther anymore, so we don't have our engineer, because Benji is like more of a tech guy. He's more of like a computer scientist, whereas Luther was like the mechanical engineer. And so clearly we have to rebuild, because like everybody has their role within a team, right? So we have to rebuild the team to make sure that we have all of our bases covered. But you can easily, like I said, you can have somebody come in new because the NSA or the CIA, DEA, whoever wants Ethan because of something that he did, something that he stole, some person that he came in contact with. So now he's on somebody's list, and you send them after Ethan. They meet up with Ethan. They come to find out, oh, Ethan's not really the bad guy. It's this corrupt politician or this corrupt government official or whatever. And so now this new person and Ethan are working in tandem or working together to bring this person down, and that gives you the handoff, right? That gives you the handoff. Yeah. Now Ethan is passing the torch on to this new person, and you can then carry on a franchise with this new person. So
let's fan cast. Who would you want to be the new? You can't call him Ethan Hunt. You have to come up with a new name.
The new leader of the IMF.
Ooh, it's gotten thirsty in here.
Who? Because I'm trying to think about who do I like in action spaces right now. Yeah, you got to have somebody that's not necessarily young, but young-ish. Somebody like 30s, 40s.
Okay.
I won't even say 30s, 40s, like but I would say somewhere mid-20s to like early 40s, somewhere within that range. I think is suitable enough to be able to take over that role. And I mean, I don't.
A lot of running. I think Mission Impossible is now synonymously known for running. And anybody you put in there, they
got to run.
That run scene in China that Tom Cruise did, I was right there in the theater out of breath, and I wasn't even running.
No, even the one in Dead Reckoning when he was like running on top of the airport or wherever he was running, because that's what I love about when he does those scenes is when he's running is that they do that pan out and they show like the distance of where he's going.
Oh my God.
And it's always some path that he's running where there's nothing else around him. So it just shows how empty everything is. And the further they zoom out, the smaller he gets. Like, damn, he got a long way to run.
God damn, son. Let the world die. I feel like Spider now. It's just too much. That's a lot of running. He a runner, he a track star.
He on the submarine. He's still... God, that is a tough question. I would have to like really sit down and think about it because I don't have an actor like at the forefront of my mind because I feel like all the big action movies. No, all the big action movies. I don't see him as an action guy. Like I'm talking about somebody that's going to do. Yeah, you can be ripped, but have you seen Daniel Radcliffe in a hand-to-hand combat situation?
Oh, but that's what training is for.
No, I just
born in a
can't
hand-to-hand combat before.
No, nobody saw Matt Damon in that situation
Matt
prior
Damon
to.
Educated the man, he beat him with a book. He beat him, he educated, he leveled him up. He's like, let me teach you something about education.
And I mean, and that's completely fair because nobody saw Keanu Reeves being John Wick until he was actually John Wick. So
there could him being Neo.
Also true. But there could be any number of actors that could probably fit into that space.
Here's the other question.
Yeah.
Do you consult with Tom Cruise?
You have to in order to put somebody because
So how do you keep him from not taking over then? Because if this is the passing of the torch, that means
Well, I think that, this is what I'm saying, that at some point, he will recognize that he's getting up in age and that he can no longer portray the character as a character has been portrayed. So at some point in time, you would...
I don't accept this.
That's a mission that he won't accept, passing the torch on to somebody else. Let me go ahead and just let that tape explode. I ain't gonna worry about this one.
I don't accept this. I don't accept it.
But no, and I feel like it would be foolish and blasphemous to create a Mission Impossible movie or try to create a Mission Impossible movie and not have Tom Cruise involved in any way. I feel like
before you pass the torch.
Yeah, before we pass the torch. Because
even after, just bring them on as like an EP.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he probably, if they do any films of Mission Impossible without him as the main character, he probably have EP credit on it.
I mean, The man basically built the franchise. Again, this was a TV show,
right?
And it made incredible movies.
He built it into what it is today. Because I mean, the original TV series lasted for 7 seasons, so it was a successful series on TV. And then it went another 2 seasons in the 80s, and then it was adapted into a movie in the 90s. But the Mission Impossible that we know of today, it is definitely credited to Tom Cruise and his portrayal of Ethan Hunt as a character.
I think they're the one that brought the mask in, because I don't think the masks were in the show. I could be wrong.
I can't say for sure.
I don't think the masks were in the show, but I love how throughout the iterations of the franchise, they incorporated the mask. They never shied away from the mask. But even in the Final Reckoning, we didn't even know that they were wearing masks. They just pulled it off. And that's how it would seem if you were in the situation. Like, these people just pull it face off. And
I want to know, where do they keep, because I feel like in almost every movie they have a mask. And for some reason, the mask machine breaks and they can't produce any more masks. But the next movie that comes out.
A couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time it happened, I was happy that
they keep getting mask machines.
But this time it worked.
I mean, it works all the time. They always use it.
Now when they bash it, they couldn't use it. And then when it started to glitch, the Ghost Protocol, I think, was a version where everything went wrong. That's like my favorite Mission Impossible. That's the one he's hanging out the tallest building in the world thus far.
Yeah,
where's Khalifa? Nothing goes right in that whole movie. Like, all the tech fails, and it starts off that way. Even with the mission that will the message that will self-destruct, it doesn't self-destruct. Ethan has to hit it to make it self-destruct, and it just sets up the precedent of the whole movie. And it's like, what do you do when your plan doesn't work? And that's why it stands out to me as one of the best ones. What do you do when it doesn't? I hit the button, it don't work. I hit the button, it don't work. What do you do now when the world's depending on you to do something and it's not working? You have to improvise, and you have to figure something else out because the world's still at risk. We got to get the detonator. Like, there's something else we got to do. It stands out to me. This one,
I feel like 3 set the tone of how the rest of, not 3, but Ghost Protocol with that. And it not working, I feel like that set the tone for the rest of the upcoming films, because now it's like they can't go through a plan without something going wrong. I think that because the first Mission Impossible, it was more along the lines of the plan is going according to, we're doing everything according to the plan, but everything is like really close. There's a lot of close calls. Everything is like really tight, really, really stressful, really like you're panicking. We're getting close, but it didn't exactly go wrong. But as we got into the later movies, it was
a
like
double cross and a manipulation in the first one, and it was like,
again,
I need you to be the fall guy, and it's like, I don't accept that.
That's the way that they're almost all are.
It was real spy stuff.
Yeah, there's always somebody on either side, whether it's somebody coming from the antagonist side to the IMF team, or somebody going from the IMF team, and they double cross Ethan, because like in this one, the guy that was working, bringing Paris to jail. He was guarding her.
Clearly, if we're talking about this, we're thinking that you saw it already. So if I need to say spoiler warning, you're on the wrong show.
Yeah. But so they're escorting Paris to jail because she got captured for aiding and abetting Gabriel from the last movie. So they're bringing her to jail, and then Ethan and Benji go to break her out. And I'm trying to remember what the guy's name was. I don't know if they really even said his name.
The team?
Yeah.
You're talking about the other one that always gets his nose broken.
No, he that was the guy from MI1. What is his name? Angelina Jolie's dad, John Voight. John Voight's son.
Yes.
Yes. But no,
not
him.
John Voight's son?
No.
The one that gets his nose broken?
His character is the son of the character that John Voight played in one. Yeah. But deus.
I went meta.
Yeah, but he's not.
That's not my son.
No, he's not actually John Voight.
Angelina Jolie got a sister. Got a brother.
She does have a brother who looks surprisingly a lot like her. If you've not seen the pictures, look it up and tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not into men like that.
I didn't say you had to be, but okay.
Into Angelina Jolie. That's what I'm trying to call it.
Okay, but
I'm just saying.
Either way,
I'm trying to get a wanted sequel. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a wanted sequel.
I don't think that's going to happen.
James McAvoy,
but
Angelina Jolie.
they keep them from bringing Paris to jail, and then it's like he immediately just joins up with them, and it's like,
well, they showed it though. They showed that they were not attacking, and that the emphasis was the bullet that went over his head. Instead of, it could have clearly shot him and killed him. He was knocked out unconscious. I could have shot him and killed him, but I stopped her from trying to kill him because we're not here to kill you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know the entity now. We understand that the entity, because again, they express that the entity is kind of doing its own thing, but that kind of took me out of the movie in a sense, because it's like, how do they really know about the entity like that? I know you know, Tom, but how do they really know, Ethan? But now everybody knows that the entity is taking over. So they're like, the entity wants you to call this in. Don't do it. We're here to stop the entity. And it's like,
well, I mean, they were working with Kittredge. So I would imagine that Kittredge briefed them on what was going on. Because he was in the last movie too. So he had to have some knowledge, I would imagine.
So,
but it just seemed very sudden. Yeah.
Okay. Since we're just naming shit, might as well just say that too, right?
I mean,
when Hunt was Lark, and we didn't know what Lark looked like.
That has nothing to do with anything.
It doesn't. You're right. And just like the fact that the entity is doing stuff and it really shouldn't. Like you said,
but it's an AI.
Here now.
It's in a sense of
fast.
Well, if you have the most powerful artificial intelligence that's ever been created, it's going to different franchise. It's going to learn at an exponential rate. And God's Eye wasn't really an AI in a sense where it's an AI in a sense.
Tracking AI.
It's an AI.
It tracks you anywhere in the world.
But it's not sentient. That's the thing, and I'm trying to get to. The entity was sentient in the sense of where it developed its own agenda. God's Eye was just a tool used to be able to surveil anybody on the planet.
You're right.
But once the entity became the main antagonist, and that was the thing that they were racing to stop, I really felt like the only reason that Gabriel was even still being talked about or relevant was because he had the poison pill from Luther. It's like, had that not happened, had they fortified their underground base a little bit better to where, because I mean, Gabriel got in with no damn problem. I don't know how.
Walk in.
You just walk in.
You just walk in. There's nothing there.
You have
all the tech y'all have.
You have a cancer patient down there by himself. Like, you don't have nobody that'll watch him, nobody that'll look over Luther, just in case something happens. Ethan has no shortage of enemies.
All the money y'all got, all the connections y'all got.
You could have had a bodyguard or something for Luther. But
had you put him in a villa somewhere?
Now they got to be underground. They got to be underground so they can't be detected for some reason in some tunnel system. But
why? What Luther do besides save the world?
Luther,
and you know he down there.
Luther was just tired of disarming bombs. That's what it was. Because Luther has had to disarm a bomb every damn movie.
Spider.
I'm tired of cutting wires, Ethan. I'm tired of it.
I know I, clearly, because he was like, "Ain't nobody gonna make it out. Ain't only one of us gonna make it out of this. Because I'm gonna disarm the bomb, but I can't disarm all of it. I can only disarm half of it.
He
You
he
got to get
he
out so you can."
he stopped the nukes from going off, but he couldn't stop the detonators. So it wasn't. And also, where the hell did Gabriel get all these damn nukes?
Same place he got all them knives from the last. same place he got all them. And when he pull that knife out on that plane, I was waiting for you to pull that goddamn shotty ass knife out. I knew you had about 7 of them on you.
It's easier to get knives than it is to get nuclear, to get uranium or plutonium or whatever the bombs are made of.
Not really, because guess what? In the last movie,
they come in these little sections that they got to put together so they can make the bomb. So he had the one that had like 9 of the sections that Luther had to disarm, and then at the end he had another one that was like 4 times that and even bigger. I'm like, where does he keep getting them from?
Too much goddamn time on this hand. But it's clear you could black arms deal you plutonium not without like having the people on your back, because if you don't want that smoke, I advise you not to do it. But you seen in the other movie with Angela Bassett that there was dealing plutonium, and it was like Hunt saved his team. It's like he would have let his team die. You're right, and we would have the plutonium. So it's moving out there,
right?
It's kind of like you just got to know who to call, Spidey.
I guess so. I don't have a plutonium guy, so I'm not in that circle.
No, I know a guy. He needs a plutonium. He had a flux capacitor too, in case you won't go back in time.
But since you brought up Angela Bassett, let's talk about the Angela Bassett of it all. President.
She's a president now.
That's 2 in the same year that we've gotten black women as president.
That's right. Viola Davis and Angela Bassett. I think Angela Bassett was like, you ain't going to be president out here. I'm president. I'm queen too. Because, Viola Davis was queen and a woman king.
Right.
She was queen and a woman king. She wasn't king. She was queen, in my opinion. I don't care what y'all say. Go watch The Woman King and you tell me how you feel about it.
But Angela did it first.
Got a little competition going on.
Angela did it first. I'm not mad at it. I'm here for it.
Shout out to those ladies. They are killing the game, and bless these roles that they're doing, because they are putting so much art and talent into themselves into it, and it's a joy to watch. But yeah, she came on the scene, and as a president, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to make these vital decisions that lives are at risk. I would never be the president. You could pay me endless amount of money. I'm telling you, I don't want the smoke.
You don't want that stress.
I don't want the stress. Because you can see it. She carried it so well. The pressure of having to decide is Ethan going to come through, with the track record of he's always come through.
Mm-hmm.
But you got all these people in your ear, Madam President, Madam President, Madam President. We need to strike. We need to do this. We got nukes. We're gonna get taken out. We gotta launch first. We gotta strike first. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna hold the line.
Give him a shot.
I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna give him a shot.
Got 3 days.
Cause she said it. She said it. There's going to be opposition that's going to want us to cancel before these 3 days, but I'm giving them 3 days. And then when the 3 days didn't come through, take them offline.
Which is what they should have did in the first place.
Madam President, take them offline. Nobody's shooting nothing. We're going to get killed. Nope. Ethan Hunt's going to save the day.
And the thing about it is that
I would have fell off that airplane. I'm going to tell you right now. I would have fell. I would have fell. I would have been in a valley, in a river. They would have had a deer licking my face, waking me up. Like, you fell. You fell, my guy. I know. I can't even feel my food stamps.
The grip strength of this man is unrivaled.
What? When y'all say stunt, when y'all say Jackie Chan, when y'all say, who else do they own stunts?
These days, Jason Statham does his own stunts.
Jason Statham does his own. Y'all better say Tom Cruise too. Tom Cruise hanging off the side of moving goddamn vehicles, planes, trains, and automobiles. I can.
I mean,
I don't care how much y'all pay me.
is
I can't do
definitely
that either.
credit where credit is due, because when it comes to those types of big stunt pieces, he has set himself apart from the average actor. Excuse me, and the things that he's willing to,
and stuntman.
Yeah, and stuntmen. But well, I say the average actor because stuntmen train to do these type of things. It's not expected of an actor to do or undergo that type of training in order to perform these physical feats. Like him, like diving and going underwater. I'm 100% sure that he had to go through rigorous training, because all of the stuff that they're talking about, him getting the bends and but you know, like quickly servicing from deep depths in the water. Yeah, you get the bends, and everything that they said in the movie is exactly what would happen. And
Strider, hold on.
Yes.
You could die from that shit.
Yes.
I just want to go ahead and put that out there. You could literally die.
Yes.
Go ahead. I just put that out there. But like you get the bends and you just walk it off.
Most of your actors will either opt to not do those types of things. Insurance won't allow them to do those types of things, or just
insurance hate Tom Cruise,
or just
like, who you doing a movie with? Nah.
But or just the nature of the filming schedule wouldn't allow for them to be able to go to devote the time to undergo the training in order to perform the stunt adequately and professionally and without risk. So for the most part, yeah, your actors are not going to be doing those types of big set pieces. But when it comes to
let me tell you how. Go ahead.
Driving a motorcycle off a cliff, hanging onto the side of a plane, just climbing up the face of a mountain, climbing up the face of a building. It's like those types of things, again, normally reserved for stunt people. Your regular average actor is not. He likes to climb, he likes to run. And even the whole running part, you won't get a lot of actors to have to like do those type of lengthy types of running scenes.
Jackson run. I don't.
But
I've seen him
yeah,
running the Avengers off the hella character. It was like, stop, Sam, just shoot.
just cut the scene and let Sam be where he needs to be. We don't need to see Sam get from point A to point B. We know he got there. But yeah, definitely giving Tom his credit, because he goes above and beyond when it comes to his stunts.
Spider, I don't know if they're gonna have another one like him, because to come into the MI franchise, it's not like coming into something like a James Bond. Like, you're coming in expecting to be able to, like, Tom Cruise has set the benchmark. You can't come in. First of all, if you come in and you don't do your own stunts, you're not even worthy of the role.
Right. Agree.
Like, that's what this is now. He has set the standard. If you're not, and this is not, we're talking about him doing these stunts. He don't do it just one time. Okay, we good, we got it. He's like, nah, I didn't like that one. Let's do it again.
Isn't that how he
from the last movie?
You talking about the Halo jump?
The Halo jump went off the motorcycle? Oh, I can't even tell you how many times he did that one. They were like, Tom, please, no, let's do it again.
Isn't that how he broke his ankle in
jumping off the roof?
Yeah. That was, I'm trying to remember which one that was, because they all run together. I think that was Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. He jumped off that roof and he caught that second roof wrong. And guess what? There was no pulley system. There was no tie off. He jumped it. And if he would have allowed that ankle injury, that foot injury, that broken bone to pull him down, we wouldn't have Tom Cruise. He would have fell off that building.
I'm sure there was some type of net or crash pad or something under him. He would have been hurt for sure.
And hobbled off to a point that he saved the scene.
Yeah.
You could barely notice that.
And it's crazy that that's the scene that they used. Just for him to, it's like because they were allowing us to see that Ethan is human. Like, he does these crazy things, but it's not perfect, right? He didn't make that jump cleanly. That's what a regular person would have. It was a far jump, and they would have trouble.
Broke his ankle. Dedicated to the craft. Dedicated to. You ain't hear something like that since Jackie Chan. No, he got to give props to Jackie Chan for that. Jackie Chan done broke more things than should be broken.
I mean, I feel like that was just Chinese martial arts movies in general. You had people getting hurt.
I don't know. I ain't see Donnie Yen get hurt. I ain't see Jet Li get hurt like that. Jackie Chan goes hard. Jackie Chan be in a cast talking about let's do the scene. Like, Jackie, you got a cast on.
I did remember.
Jackie Chan put a sock on it.
Yeah, it was a sock.
On the sock.
It looked like a shoe.
Painted a shoe on it. Like, I got this. Like, we shooting.
You gotta finish the movie. Gotta get it done.
This ain't gonna be for nothing. But Jackie, you the star. They put the sock on, paint the shoe on the sock, and put the sock over the cast, and I'm gonna run. In the cat, I'm gonna run. You a goddamn. Insurance won't cover Jackie Chan either. No. Who doing your movie? Jackie Chan. Oh man, goddamn.
It's like, who's in the movie? Jackie. Is Jackie doing stunts? Nah, we can't cover
it. No, hell no. Jackie doing stunts? Hell no. That's your deductible right there. Day one deductible. You done made a claim. Goddamn, Jackie Chan.
What time they start filming? 10. When did that claim come in? 10:03. God damn it.
No. Who the hell said Jackie Chan could catch a cannonball? Who told y'all that could do? Jackie Chan got this idea he would catch a cannonball and start moving it around like a Dragon Ball and throw it back. It's gonna be in cinema history.
Oh,
Jackie Chan died today.
No, but
please don't let Jackie Chan die.
No,
I'm about to go watch a Karate Kid right now.
But like I was saying, as far as because there were some things that I had questions about, and was just wondering exactly.
Let's get to it, Spider, because people want to know how we feel about this movie. So we done praised it long enough.
Oh, technically, we've praised Tom Cruise and his dedication to this role enough. I don't know. We really praising the movie.
He is iconic.
But
he is iconic.
No, because like I was saying, had Gabriel not gotten the poison pill, he was really irrelevant for the most of the movie, because they were trying to get to him, but they needed to go and get all this other information first, and it wasn't until at the end that he was relevant again. So I mean, take him out of the movie, then it's just a race against time.
Pill when Luther gave it to him,
it wouldn't have been an issue. It would not have been an issue, and Luther would have still been alive. So that's just another thing that's Ethan's fault.
Let's be quite honest. We knew Luther was going to die as soon as he hit the scene. Like
when they gave him his diagnosis, I knew that he didn't have long for this world.
When he said, "Don't you worry about old Luther," I'm like, "Goddamn, Luther, you gonna die? What the hell?
Yeah.
I need you to deactivate a bomb." And guess what? They say, "Luther, I know you're not feeling well, but guess what I brought you? Something for you to play." Like, I'm going to come to your hideout, leave you alive, and put a bomb there.
And then lock you in.
And take your shit and leave. Like, you asleep. You took the shit right off his shit.
Yeah. And that's all I'm saying. Like, it would have took a guard, 2 guards, somebody to be in there besides having Luther in there by himself.
Who's that? That looks important. Let me just take that real fast.
Yeah, and it's like,
you don't need that.
I mean, Gabriel said that he knows everything, so he knew. But it's like, how would he know? They were already off the grid. There's no way that he would have knew exactly what that was used for.
But if you hanging it around your neck,
but I guess because the entity told it was the whole thing. What was that other movie that we were watching? It might have been Dead Reckoning. It's like it was Brave New World, talking about you're 98% statistically inclined to do this, but Sam was part of that 2%. Yeah. He's like, I predict that there's an 86% chance that you're going to do this, and then Sam just went and did the other thing. And it's like,
I didn't predict that.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming.
The odds wasn't going this way. You're an unpredictable captain. I understand now.
But I
can't wait to see him in the next stuff.
We're not seeing him in nothing else. But it's
wait, Spider. Before, real quick, single pin in it. Stern got out of jail. He escaped.
Yeah.
To go back to jail just because he only wanted to expose Ross to be a monster.
Yeah.
And he turned him into a monster by feeding him radiation pills to change him into a Hulk.
Right.
Not a great plan. All right, so Mission Impossible.
Not at all.
Not a great plan.
No, but I just feel like it's a cop out because you basically logistically your antagonist knows things that they shouldn't know, but they know it because
we don't know how they.
Because the entity has told them everything, because the entity can predict how everything is going to turn out. Yes, I know that Ethan and the rest of the IMF are going to try to destroy me. So I know Luther has these skills and he's going to create this poison pill that if they connect it with my consciousness, then is going to disrupt and all of this other kind of stuff. But he just happened to know that and happened to know when to get to him.
Yeah, and having to know where to go, which was off the grid.
Exactly.
Nobody knew because you're not wrong.
It's overly convenient. Wrong. There were a lot of things that I think that
Deus Machina.
The entire movie was Deus Ex Machina. Is everything just no matter what went wrong, everything just happened to fall into place exactly when they needed it to. But I guess that's just the way of the world when it comes to Mission Impossible and the IMF team. But another question that I had was...
I'm gonna ask a question because I'm gonna ask you a question because I'm gonna ask that question. I'm gonna ask that question because I feel like it was the right time to ask it.
No, the other question that I had was Nick Offerman played the other... famously known for portraying Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation. He played the Secretary of Defense, General Sidney, right? So he's part of that collective group of individuals that were in there with the president. They were going back and forth on what the president should do. And at one point he steps out of the room, and for the guard who was guarding the room, he asked the guard for his gun. He said, "Hand me your firearm." Right. Because they were in the room with the president. And of course, no firearms are allowed in the room just in case somebody tries to assassinate the president. So he said, "Hand me your firearm."
We don't play like that with Angela Bassett.
No, not at all. But he gets the gun from the guard, and then they go back to discussing and debating on what they should do. When it came time was running out, and everybody's wanting the U.S. president to launch off the nukes, and they are talking about launching nukes to every main city that has the nuclear facilities, plus one city in the United States that
strategic
they elected to sacrifice.
Yes, because we got to make it look like it was y'all.
Right, we got to make it look like it's not the U.S. It makes it look like everybody's getting attacked. But when she decides to
not a great plan.
Not a great plan at all.
Not a great plan at all.
Not a great plan. But when she decides to take the weapon silo offline, one of her Secret Service agents who was indoctrinated, was brainwashed by the entity, pulls out a gun and attempts to kill her. At that moment, that's when General Sidney pulls out the gun and fires and kills the Secret Service agent, ultimately getting shot and dying himself. Now,
purple metal.
Had that not happened, why did he ask the guard for his gun? Was he planning on holding the president at gunpoint in order to get her to do what he thinks that she should have done?
Woo, Spider. See what had happened was don't you bring that logic in this goddamn final record and Spider.
I just want to know what he asked for the gun for. Why did he need to have the gun? I mean, yes, again, Deus Ex Machina.
See him ask for the gun so you could know he had the gun when it was time to pull a gun out. what we should have been asking is how that other guy got the gun in.
Well, he was a Secret Service agent. He would have had the gun anyway. Because when they were arguing, the Secret Service agent, because it was him and the other lady, they were standing outside, and while they were arguing, they came inside. And who's going to stop him? The guard at the door don't have a gun anymore. So what is he going to do?
So this was a movie. Basically,
it was a movie. It was a movie. But again, it was just like I say, everything was so convenient. Another thing, and I laughed.
Well, what he would have had the gun for? Why did he?
Yeah, because I just want to know what he would have done with it if the Secret Service agent hadn't came in. He would just sitting there with a gun.
I'm feeling light. Let me get your gun. Let me get you. I feel like I need a little weight on me. I feel like I've been in the field in such a long time. Let me get that 45 pistol off.
But
okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Just here.
Okay, sir.
But
isn't there a thing that officer? You would know this. You would know this. This might not be a thing.
What?
But if an officer or somebody over you asks for your weapon, this is my weapon. This is my. You know what I'm saying? This is a part of you. This is not just like a gun. This is an extension of you. You lose this, you're dead.
Right.
Can somebody just come and say, even if they outrank you, just say, hey, give me a gun. With no questions asked, you have to submit it to them?
I mean, not in a certain way. I mean, it's very, there would have to be a specific reason that a superior officer would need to commandeer your firearm.
Your weapon.
Yes.
Your weapon. Give me your weapon.
Like if you were in a battle zone and they had a weapon and...
No. No battle zone.
No, I'm doing what I'm saying. I'm giving an example.
Every day.
you're outside a conference room and your superior officer comes up and... But and here's the thing, because just as far as rank dynamics go, the Secretary of Defense is likely a 3 or 4 star general. The person who is guarding the door is probably somebody that's enlisted, maybe a captain.
Maybe.
And so if you're even if you're a captain and a 3-star general or 4-star general comes up to you and says, I need your firearm. A Marine, I need your firearm.
Give me your gun.
And I mean, to the guard's credit, he did question it for a second. He was like, sir? He's like, I need your firearm. He's like, okay. I mean, in that situation, there's really not much you can say no to him.
There's not much you can say.
Because the only thing, because I think he did say like that's an order.
Following orders.
Yeah. I mean, but when you take your oath, it is your duty to not comply with an order that is deemed unlawful. So if the superior officer is trying to get you to do something illegal, you don't have to, and they say, I want you to go shoot that man in the head, that's an order. If that's something that's illegal, no, you don't have to do it. That's against the law. That's not something that you have to do. But
if you do it so general and vague, just like saying, give me your gun, you don't know what I need it for.
And then they say that's an order.
Liable? Can I be held liable if you take my weapon and go and do a murdering spree? All things super is not promoting any murdering spree or any transference of weaponry.
Yeah, and if we have any service members who actually have like concrete answers to these things, then yes, we will. Please we will love your input. But to my knowledge, if and now we're getting into the weeds of it.
Secret invasion. Give me your gun, goddamn it.
We don't talk about
that's
secret
the president.
invasion.
You tell
we don't talk about secret invasion. But if something happens and that superior officer who commandeered your firearm goes off on a killing spree, you could be held culpable because you were the person that gave them that weapon. If there was no lawful reason for you to turn over your weapon, then it could. I'm not saying that you're going to go to jail for it, but we are not
attorneys and we are not military attorneys. I just want to preface that right now.
I would imagine that you could see some punishment for that.
Even if you were just following orders.
Depending on the situation. I will blanket this entire conversation with depending on the situation, depending on what happens.
Yeah, well, the world is at jeopardy, Spider.
As the way it was framed in the movie, I don't think that the guard will get into any trouble for handing his firearm over to the Secretary of Defense.
Because it was a spoiled assassination.
Yes, so but had the Secretary of Defense assassinated the president, then yes, he probably would have gotten in trouble for it.
You going to jail. I can guarantee you that. I guarantee you they didn't know where you could shape, because if you had never gave him a gun, he would have never shot.
Exactly.
But at this situation, you saved the president.
He would have to have a really good lawyer.
You might get him. Well, here we go.
But no,
Spider, the final record is super. The final record is super.
Wait, before we get to it, the last thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
And I want to know, because this got a chuckle out of me in the theater. I don't know if you might have just completely ignored it or whatever. So the climax of the movie, the thing that everybody was wanting to see was Tom Cruise hanging off the planes, right? That was in all of the promotional material, everything.
Not what I want to see. I want to see Tom Cruise sit down in a rocking chair.
That's not going to happen.
You did enough.
It's not going to happen.
You owe this world nothing.
But
you already lost your love of your life. Your friends died.
There are two planes, right? But the second plane, the one that Gabriel was in, when Ethan climbs onto Gabriel's plane and he climbs up to the cockpit where Gabriel is flying. Yes. The first thing Gabriel does is try to stab him, try to cut him, try to kill him. Right? Stop. He pulled his knife out.
I'm a knifer.
and they foreshadowed they foreshadowed this whole situation back when they were in the cave, when Gabriel is gloating about how prepared he is. He's like, yes, I have a plane. I also brought a second plane just in case. We're like, okay, well, we clearly know how Ethan's going to catch up to you now, because why would you tell him that there was a second plane? But
why would you bring two planes?
His lackey, I don't know. But his lackey, his lieutenant, whoever his right-hand man was that was flying the second plane, Ethan climbs onto that one. And when he gets to the cockpit where the guy is, when I tell you that the guy had literally no reaction, he looked at him, saw him, and did nothing. Didn't try to shake him off, didn't try to like push him. He sat there and waited to get punched in the face.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say two things on this, Spider. One, Ethan Hunt punched the shit out that fucking pilot with no regard for safety at all.
He gave him all
the way across.
He gave him a Louise punch from Ant-Man. Remember how they say Louise can knock anybody?
Yeah, knock anybody out with one punch. He came all the way across the fucking back, and not the chest, the fucking back with it, and just.
You got to.
I feel this. The second thing is, that's fucked up, because let me tell you why. Clearly, that pilot was high as motherfucker. He was high. He looked at him and was like, that ain't nobody on the side of my plane. I'm tripping. I'm just gonna look forward. I ain't even gonna play it like that, because I know I don't see what I think I see.
Gabriel,
and then when he got hit,
Gabriel told me to stop smoking before the missions. If I report to him that there's a man on the side of my plane, he gonna know that
he gonna take me off payroll.
This is my last strike. I already got 2. I can't afford to lose this job. My kid needs braces. I don't
even see this guy. That ain't a guy there. I looked at him. Nah, I'm tripping.
Nah.
And then when he got hit in the face, Spider, here's the thing. This would have been an awesome post-credit scene. You see the guy wake up in a field somewhere. Mm-hmm. He was like, what the fuck happened? Because he was just knocked out. Ethan flips the fucking plane. The guy falls out fucking plane.
He is dead. 100%. There's no chance that he survived that.
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
No, absolutely not. He is paced on the side of a mountain.
Well, that's what
also speaking of which, talking about Gabriel and how irrelevant he was, the way that he died was so anticlimactic.
What you mean?
It was so abrupt. like normally when you have these villains in these Mission Impossible movies, they have some grandiose death after like this big, you know, not to say that the dogfight chase scene and all this other kind of stuff wasn't exciting,
yeah,
but
you seen how Henry Cavill died. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's like you compare that death to how Gabriel died, and it was just like and
you died from
split his head, and then because I wasn't even expecting him to die then, because he was like, only one of us has a parachute, and I'm like, okay, he's about to parachute away. And because we see, and we talked about this when we did our review on Dead Reckoning, how Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible. No, this is Final Reckoning.
Oh, Final.
Yeah.
Final,
when we did our Dead Reckoning review, we were talking about how Mission Impossible, at the beginning of every movie, they show jump cuts of the entire movie. So we see everything happening. And so when, especially now that we're talking about the entity and how the entity knows everything, and Gabriel thinks he knows everything, we see Gabriel with the device, with the poison pill, and he put them two together. And so when Gabriel was like, well, I'm the only one with a parachute, we're thinking, okay, he's going to get the parachute, and that's where he's going to be able to do the thing because he's going to survive. And then for him to just turn around and he's dead, I was like, oh, okay. And it just, it felt so hollow and empty. It was like, this guy was, the only reason he was a threat was because he had information that Ethan didn't. And the minute he stopped having information that Ethan didn't have and just needed Ethan in order to complete his plan, it just seemed like he was irrelevant. That's the only thing I can say. He was irrelevant at that point. And so when he died, it was like
Ethan Hunt.
It's probably like one of the most lackluster villain deaths I've seen in an action movie.
So now that brings me to the question.
Yes.
Is Mission Impossible 8 Final Reckoning super? Wait.
I see you doing a drum roll, but it's not coming across on the microphone.
Well, not to look silly. Just look foolish.
Just wait, and then silence.
Drink my sorrows away.
I think it was super. I think that because then this is the same thing like when we did our Fast X review. You go into a Mission Impossible movie and you know what you're going to get. You're going to get Ethan Hunt overcoming all odds. There was no doubt in anyone's mind from the moment that this movie started that Ethan was going to fail. Especially with them calling this the Final Reckoning, saying that this is possibly the last Mission Impossible. You bring back you bring back Donlo from the first Mission Impossible, and you're tying everything up. You're going through all of these flashbacks of everything that Ethan has done, everything that the IMF team has done. You're basically tying the entire Mission Impossible franchise into this one movie. Yes. So yes, Ethan is going to succeed at the end of the day.
Knife from the first one, to bring the knife back. We're closing the circle.
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, it's a Mission Impossible movie. The stunts are great. The action is great.
Let me ask you a question, though, Spider.
Yes.
Would you hold on to a knife for 30 years?
Would I hold on to a knife for 30 years?
Would you hold on to a knife?
I mean, it was a pretty
pocket knife.
It was a pretty. No, it wasn't a pocket knife. It was like a hunting knife, wasn't it? Because it wasn't like a folding thing. It was just like a. Or was it? Because he did have to conceal it.
Folding. It's a folding knife. It's a pocket knife.
It was a pretty nice knife, though.
It was a big knife. It was a big pocket knife.
Yeah, but it was a pretty nice knife. I probably would hold on if
30 years.
To his credit, what Download said, because Ethan was apologizing because he's out in this, Arctic radio station, and he's like,
Yes.
I'm responsible for your life being forever changed. And I apologize because had he not gone in to steal what the knock list, had he not gone in to steal the knock list.
Oh, Ethan is a thief. I just need to let
100%.
everybody know that. He's
always has been, always will be.
Yeah,
but had he not gone in and stole a knock list, then Download would have still had his job, and he would have still, worked there. Yeah, he still has he has a job, but well, now he doesn't because the whole station has been burned down. I want to talk about that in a minute.
You need to stop fucking with Ethan Hunt. You need to stop.
But that's the thing. Because he never knows that that's what's going on. Because that was the first time that he met Ethan. All of this stuff has been happening to this man, and he has not once met the person that was behind it. But all that's to say, had Ethan not stolen it, then he would have, like you said, he would have still been at that job, probably would have worked for however many years, retired, did whatever. But because he was quote unquote responsible for the knock list getting stolen and they shipped him out there, he met the love of his life, had a happy life, happy marriage out there. He said he was happy. I'm not going to question the man. If anybody is in the Arctic in an Arctic substation and they say I'm living my best life out here, I have no reason to doubt them.
Your standards are not that high, but if you're happy, I'm happy for you.
Exactly.
I'm just saying our standards differ a lot.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
All he needs,
if you're happy.
All he needs is his sled dogs and his wife, so he's good to go.
Woo! Who let the dogs out? Probably your wife.
His wife was down for that action dog. She knew she understood the assignment from the moment he gave her those coordinates, and she was like, "Okay, cool. Clearly, I know what I got to do."
Clearly, she was a former agent. Had to be.
But I love the way
there's your spinoff right there.
I love no, not with them. I'm still surprised that because that distance that they had to run to outrun that bomb in that 10 seconds, I for sure thought that they were going to die. Because I was like, there's no way that they could I mean, 10 seconds may not seem...
I thought they were going to die too.
It's 10 seconds, like a 10-second sprint. Like, you got to be hauling
the
ass.
Distance between the bomb and what about when it did blow? Did the door close to shield that blast?
Yeah, because they said
shrapnel is real.
Well, because all of the servers that were in there and they were like, oh, this is impenetrable, it's unbreakable, it's like shielded and all this other kind of stuff. So once the door is closed, whatever. Again, deus ex machina. Everything is convenient. But that's the way that Mission Impossible works. If not, then they would fail every single time. They do without this. Again, it's a Fast and Furious conundrum. Without this plot armor, these characters would die. They would lose every single time because there's no reason for Ethan to survive everything that he survived. He went, God damn, this fucking submarine. How long he was on this submarine for? How many times did that fucking submarine roll before it dipped off the side of the cliff? How low was he when his scuba gear or his breathing apparatus, whatever, gets caught onto the fucking fin?
He had to escape through the goddamn torpedo shaft.
Exactly. Everything is
First of all,
there's always
everybody can't fit through the torpedo shaft. I just want to put that out there. Tom Cruise trying to say, y'all won't make fun of me for being small and short. I can fit through a torpedo shaft. Y'all can't. Because I know I can't fit through a torpedo shaft.
I know I sure as hell wouldn't. I would have just been like, oh, we rolling. I'm done.
Yeah, we rolling again. Oh, we going again?
That's it.
Okay.
That's
it. I'm gonna run out of oxygen at some point because I can't get out.
And so, and that was the first part where we saw a premonition or a foreshadowing that didn't come to fruition, because when he was in a little capsule, whatever, and he was talking to the entity, they showed him, like, hey, you going to the submarine and get this key. They're going to have two missiles that collide with each other and it's going to blow up. And that didn't happen. And so I guess that's when we should have realized that everything that has been shown is not set in stone. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. But
Bombers.
But no, but I think that is super because at its core, it is still a Mission Impossible movie. We got exactly what they set out to give us. They didn't pull a wool over our eyes. They didn't try to throw any crazy twists at us. Because normally Mission Impossible has some kind of twist in the end where they come out and it's like, with the twist. It's like they have some big reveal at the end. It was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But no, this was just very straightforward. We need to get from point A to point B. This is what we need to get. This is what we need to do to achieve it. And if we don't, it's game over for everybody. So at the end of the day, this is what they had to do. They had to get the entity. They had to put it in the machine. They had to take its consciousness. And now Benji has it? Or Grace has it? Who has it? No, Ethan has it. No, who has it?
Ethan has it. Ethan has it. He has the entity inside this.
In a little like glow stick.
He basically did a goddamn what if. He did the Doctor Strange, Evil Strange, Killmonger type of universe thing where they trapped them inside of a pocket little thing.
Yeah.
That's all that happened.
I got you.
So
yeah.
At any point in time he want to go villain, all he has to do is connect that to a hard drive and then he released the entity again. So, but I think it goes back to what you're saying. If you really want to be smart about it, you have the government go after Ethan for the entity.
Yeah.
Because again, they were showing that they want to control the entity.
Right.
But Ethan is saying this cannot be controlled. The best hands are mine because I trust me. I don't trust any of the other governments.
But not even to control it.
I know the other governments.
Because even Grace asked him, Grace was like, what if we control the entity? And Ethan was like, who would you trust with all that power? And she was like, I would trust you. Yes. He was like, bitch, you crazy. I wouldn't even trust myself with that.
I wouldn't trust me. What the fuck you talking about? Bitch, you know all the shit that I've been through? I don't trust me.
Do you see how do you see how they try to always use my friends against me? It's like the minute I start controlling the entity, all of you are going to get captured and held for ransom. The beginning of the movie, they tried to hurt Grace, and that was another thing that I was confused because
I was trying to avoid it, but here we go.
Why did they decide to like completely censor Ethan killing people? Like, we get to see it from Grace's perspective, and she's just shocked and surprised. And then we cut back to Ethan, and he's covered in blood. I'm like, was it a thing that they didn't want to get a stunt fighter to stand in for Ethan?
Better question. Why did we center the whole thing around Grace?
That is a great question.
This is Mission Impossible, not Grace under fire. This is Mission Impossible. It's about the mission. Literally heard Tom Cruise almost die, and he said, Grace, are you okay? Dude, she wasn't even in danger. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You almost died. And you're like, but are you okay? I'm good now. Now that you're okay. Like, this is not a love interest. This is she's a pickpocket. She's a good pickpocket.
Yeah.
But that's about it. She really don't have no place to show up. Deus Ex Machina, like you said. Hunt was caught because they had agents because he was on the run. They're looking for him because he's supposed to turn the key in. He's supposed to turn himself in, bring the key to the president. She said, come home, Ethan. Bring us the key. Ethan like, nah. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Right.
So back to what I was saying, the movie could be exactly that. Because at the end of it, nothing is really resolved. He not only has the key, but he also has the entity itself. So he has everything. He has the pill, the entity, the key. He has it all.
Well,
so the government's
the pill is. Or are you talking about at the end of the movie after everything is all said and done?
Yeah, it's all fried up.
Yeah. He gave that to Kittredge, and Kittredge can't use it. So
yeah, you can have that. You can have that because you can't do shit with it. There you go. I satisfied my contract. So go ahead
exactly.
Because you're getting paid, and that's the other shitty part too, Spider. if you are caught,
they disavow any knowledge.
Caught, Spider?
They disavow any knowledge. And you're on
and
your
what
own.
happens after that? You will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Like, I'm risking it all. Y'all don't even have my back. If I'm caught, you go say, I don't even know why you over there. I don't even know. You gonna do me like Jesus?
Here's
you
the
gonna
thing.
do me like I don't even know.
How many times has Ethan been caught by his own government?
Oh,
and how many times has he not been disavowed and prosecuted?
They never came got him. They never came get when he was in prison. They didn't come kick him out. Well, the MIF came to get him, but they knew where he was. How long did he stay in there?
Who knows? Not long. Because he,
you know what?
He went to jail at the. Was that the end of the last movie that he went to jail?
Before
and they
Rogue Nation,
got him out.
He went to jail
before Rogue Nation. That's what it was.
Yeah, because he was trying to do something about his wife, and he was kind of, I guess, trying to see where the hit came from or whatever he was investigating.
Yeah.
But nah, man, you got too much time on your hand. Because he was sitting in jail chilling, throwing rocks at the wall, just chilling because he was talking to Sergey, which is funny because if I see Sergey in another situation where he getting his shit beat out of him, that's clearly what he's being hired to do.
It is what
it is.
You
get the shit beat out of you in the other movie. I want you to get the shit beat out of you in this movie.
Somebody just have that's the same as Shea Wiggum. You got a punchable face. Every time we see him in the movie, he getting his nose broke.
Yeah,
that's just what you. That's what you. You got.
So I got a part for you. I'm not getting my nose broke. No. I know you're sick of that. You don't want to be known as that. But I got a part for you. Now, what's going to happen is he's going to hug you and dislocate your nose. It's not broken. It's dislocated.
What it's going to be is like, I got a part for you. Like, I'm not getting punched in the face, right? No. You're not getting punched in the face. You're not getting punched in the face. What's going to happen is he's going to hit you with a 2x4. No, that's too much. All right. Well, what about if he headbutts you? No, still not. Okay. All right. Well, what about
in this area though? In this area, like only not here, like only in this area.
Only in this one little triangle. Nowhere else.
Same thing in every movie. But that's his thing now. Remember, sometimes people get hired because you die good. You die good.
That's
I gotta kill you.
What? Sean Bean is known for notoriously dying in almost every role that he plays.
Fucking horrible. You die good though.
You die really well.
I'm not dying in your movie. Want the Academy Award or you don't? You know what? Let's talk about it.
Right.
Oh.
How much of the movie do I get to be in before I die? That's the big question.
That's the question. Because if I can run some couple of scenes,
right,
get some lines in, and then die,
well, maybe we could talk about it.
Career. Yeah. No,
if I don't make 45 minutes, I don't want it.
Damn, who's your agent? they run a hard goddamn
self-represented. That's why we don't see him so much now.
I need you to get it in this area, and I need you to die. I got you. 45 minutes, I got you. And that's how Hollywood deals are made, ladies and gentlemen.
But Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington, when it comes
all my life
to Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
The Final Reckoning, Tom Cruise's greatest work. Listen, I'm so glad Tom Cruise didn't die making this movie. That would have been a tragedy.
It would have been.
Tom Cruise is one of the last action heroes that we have left in our generation.
Don't
stunts.
Insult Jason Statham like that.
I say one of the last. I didn't say the last. I mean, one of the last.
We'll talk about it. What? But is it super? Because I just had another thought, and we can save that to when we like our final discussion before we wrap up. No. I want to know. I want to hear your response first. I'm not gonna forget.
I bet you he forget, y'all.
Well, stay tuned to find out. But is it super?
Oh, Spider, listen, let me finish telling you what I was saying. Tom Cruise, legend, icon, goddamn immortal in the eyes of the people that love the action genre, right? I am he. I love the action genre. I will not take anything away from Tom Cruise and his contribution to film, to cinema, to goddamn movies as a whole. Overall, we love Tom Cruise so much in action when he was in Tropic Thunder, when he was not doing action and started dancing in a fat man suit. We ate that shit up because it was Tom Cruise in a fat man suit dancing and cussing like we never seen Tom Cruise do it before.
That's why it
I
was
might
so
go watch.
great, because it was like we didn't know that Tom had this in him.
I might go watch Tropic Thunder again just for Tom Cruise to let you know that he can step outside of the action role and still be entertaining with other movies, obviously like
Mm-hmm.
Cocktail and Jerry Maguire and things that
Risky
showcases
Business, all
acting,
of that stuff.
all of his talents, right? So this one did not do it for me.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest. It's not super. It's not super. And it has nothing to do with Tom motherfucking Cruise. I said it. I said it. I know what I said. I said what I said. Tom, he might not want me to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Motherfucking Cruise, because he deserves the moniker, but this movie doesn't deserve the recognition of ours of being super. Why? 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 If you stop asking me, I'll tell you. The storyline was whack. The storyline was whack. Like Spider was saying, once we shifted the focus to the AI, the the idea of us attacking something that's not tangible,
Mm-hmm.
we lose the investment. We can't punch AI. We don't know what we're doing with the situation. We need something physical that we can grab on hold to and destroy with our bare hands because that's how much emotion and rage that we're feeling. This is not just a antagonist or the villain. This was somebody again from Ethan Hunt's past before he even joined the IMF. So you got to think about it, 30 plus years of torture of you taking away somebody that I love, that I could have had a normal life, forced me to join the IMF and have me put what I deemed is not even worthy of a life living anymore, to put my life on the line to save the world. Thank you for that. But to save the world in the stint of me losing somebody that was so important to me, this guy who's now linked up with artificial intelligence to try to take down the whole world. It sounds good when I'm saying it because I'm giving you my perspective of it, but that's not what came across in the movie. In the movie, it came across as just Gabriel, and he has a jump drive, or the USB. You might as well say a USB in the sense that he can upload to the cloud to stop Skynet from going all Terminator. Because
Essentially, yeah.
it feels like that. It feels like that. We don't have something that we can put an ending to. It's kind of like the Age of Ultron, right? The Age of Ultron was kind of like a week, but it's
But I
not
mean,
really gone
Ultron
because
still
it's
had
gone.
a
It's
physical form that you could retaliate against.
punch, right? Even though he had multiple forms, Vision killed the last one, but because it's AI, it still lives dormant into the servers, and because it's AI, it still lives dormant into this little flash drive that Ethan has now. And if it's the last one, are we going to say that just Ethan is retired, holding on to this godlike flash drive? That's the mission now. Just to he's the keeper of death, the final reckoning. He's a soul guardian. Like if you die, Ethan, nobody knows that you even have this.
Right.
So who are you? There's no reason not even to break it. Like the not break it is is idiotic. If
Agreed.
you're really trying to save the world, like break it to make it
Yeah,
so
there's
it,
no
it
reason to
can't
keep
be.
it. If that is the very
There's
last
no
copy of
reason
the
to
source
keep
code,
it.
there's no reason to hold on to it, because the longer you hold on to it, the more likely it's going to fall into somebody else's hands.
And that's why we're questioning if it's the final fucking reckoning. Because what the fuck are we doing? If it's the final reckoning, why are we assembling as a team instead of dismantling as the IMF?
Right.
If it's the final reckoning, why do we have this AI that we know if anybody connects it to any digital device, it's now free to do the same thing over again? with less resistance because now he doesn't even have Gabriel to fuck shit up and pull knives out. Like it's a goddamn Chris Evans, what's his name? Daniel Craig movie. It doesn't it doesn't make sense. So to me, it's not super because of those reasons. It has nothing to do with Tom Cruise. It has everything to do with the goddamn storyline. I'd rather you have a terrorist that had different interests but still terror, to still have evil intentions to taking over the world, a terrorist like intentions, and stop him because we know you saved the world from this person. And I understand that has been what it has been since the beginning till now. But when you make something that you can't hold the 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 villain or the antagonist, it's hard for the audience to grasp punching air and being satisfied with the result of air being punched. Like, I got you. Right. There's still air here. No, but I punched it really. I'm Ethan Hunt.
Because
go sit the fuck down. Go sit down.
You look at the comparison of Dead Reckoning versus Final Reckoning, where in Dead Reckoning it was Ethan's chasing after Gabriel and the entity is assisting Gabriel. So Gabriel is the actual threat. And when if we were to get to Gabriel, we can take Gabriel out and Gabriel's connection to the entity. If Gabriel is eliminated, then the threat itself is eliminated. But now when you flip that,
dissed the fuck out of Gabriel.
Yeah. So when you flip that,
it was like, I'm done with him.
It just becomes a race against the clock at that point. And when you have a race against the clock, that's when you have all of those things where, oh, well, we need to do this in a certain amount of time. Like you look at the movie as a whole, and every step of the way, it was, oh, well, we have to have all of these certain things line up in order for us to be successful. Ethan gets captured, then he goes to the president. The president has to believe him to let him go. He gets to the aircraft carrier. The commander of the aircraft carrier has to agree to get him on a plane in order to like. If not for the letter from the president, which was sealed with the presidential seal, he goes up there and he's telling her, look, I need an airplane to drop me off into the middle of the ocean so I can rendezvous with this submarine, which is a stealth submarine.
An international war.
But I need you to drop me off there so I can get onto the submarine so they can bring me to coordinates where my team, who is halfway across the world, will broadcast for 15 minutes at a time every 2 hours in order for you to drop me off to get to the submarine, in order for me to get into the submarine, to be able to get to the source code for the entity. And I have to expect that my team is on the surface level in order for them to bring me back.
I'm doing all that. Who cleared you? How you got here? Who cleared you? Let me tell you something. When you jumped off that goddamn plane, that helicopter, and jumped into that goddamn ocean, the man said, "What was your plan if we didn't show up?"
And then I love the fact that
the question inside the movie.
I love the fact that the pilot and the flight crew on the plane was like, we can't be here. The Russians were flying, was like, this is the only warning we're going to get. They come back again, we're dead. So he's like, okay, well, clearly we can't get in touch with the submarine, so I'm just going to jump. And then he emerges out of the water, and you just see the planes flying away. Like, look, we did our job. We getting out of here.
We did our job. We getting out of here. And it was so close. I can't see how the Russian plane didn't see a man jump out the plane. Because it was like right there.
It's the same thing as he's in the submarine. He gets out of the submarine.
American jumped out the plane. What are you doing?
He gets out of the submarine. He's about to get hit by the other submarine. That's how close behind they are. And it's just like, okay. We didn't see
in real life.
There's nothing on the sonar or the radar, because clearly they're driving by radar. They're not just looking out of a windshield and seeing another submarine in front of them. But there's nothing, no systems picked up that there was like something that drifted off from the submarine.
Sonar. Our sonar is down, sir. Good thing it's down. I know, man. Sometimes you got to turn your brain all the way, all the way. Like, no, I'm talking about like when you see what is like off right here, you got to go under off. Like you got to go beneath that and do something like not even thinking about turning on, and then enjoy the movie. I'm not saying, listen, all the hard work. I feel like a critic right now. I have never felt like a critic before till right now. All the hard work that went into this movie, I am not negating any of it. Mm-hmm. It is a phenomenal movie. It's just not super. It's not a super movie. If you want to go out and see Tom Cruise do his thing, this is the movie that you go and see. He does not come short at any feat. He just delivers. He delivers. It is top tier action that doesn't make sense, but it's action. It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense story-wise, but it's action. It's just not a great movie. It's not a super movie. It's a movie. It's a Mission Impossible. Is it the best Mission Impossible movie? No. It's not. It's not the best one. And to say that they're leaving it or potentially leaving it, you're not leaving it at a high, you're leaving it at a low. And this is just my opinion, Mr. VIP, from All Things Super's opinion. It ain't super.
I wouldn't say leaving it at a low. I would say leaving it at a mid.
For this franchise to be as big as it is,
do you think of the franchise?
You don't leave it on them.
Do you think that this was the worst of the franchise?
Honestly, second to the worst.
What would you consider to be the worst?
The first one.
You think the first one was the worst?
For me. And let me tell you why. Action-wise, the only thing that I remember from the first one is the two scenes that everybody remembers. Mm-hmm. The one he drops down into the room, where if he would have hit or dropped anything, it was over for him. That is the iconic one. They did that in almost all of them following, with the Benji and Jeremy Renner jump in. Like everybody has that scene. Yeah. Second scene was when he took the gum, the bubble gum, folded it together, because it's not really bubble gum, it's plastic explosive. Right. And he took that and he's sitting there listening to the betrayal, saying, I want you to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to go back. You're going to report. And he's like, I know something's bigger going on. And he confronts him right then and there. And he's stuck in this situation like, I got to get out of this because I'm not going to take the rap for this. I know you're dirty. And when he confronted him, Cambridge, I think his name was. I'm talking about the first one. Yeah. I'm talking about the first Mission Impossible. He didn't hide it. He said, yes, you're supposed to take the fall for this. And he started monologuing about all this. Tom Cruise took the gum, unknowingly took it and folded it up. I think it was pink and white or something like that. Explosives, threw it on a fish tank. The fish tank blows, all the water comes out. He comes running out the dang gone. That's the only two scenes I remember. And his team dying. It wasn't the greatest movie. In fact, to me, it sucked. As far as the rest of the movie, those two action scenes, those are top tier. But it was enough to greenlight a sequel. Second one, nothing like the first one. Second one, action. Mission Impossible 2 maybe have some of the best action in it. Mission Impossible 2 is where they introduced a mask. Mission Impossible 2 introduced the motorcycles. Mission Impossible 2 laid the groundwork of everything that was supposed to be Mission Impossible until now. And then we get to the final reckoning. It's not about the stunts. It's not about Tom Cruise. It's about the story. And how are we going to land this plane? Not pun intended. Because he landed the plane to save himself.
Well, Gabriel
died.
He did not land the plane. He jumped out of the plane because the plane was about to burn.
I'm talking about when Tom did it.
He didn't land the plane. He jumped out. Remember, because he had to rip the parachute, and his parachute was on fire.
Well, somebody got to get out the plane. The point of what I'm saying is, it's all about how you land a plane. They didn't land the plane well. You jumped out of the plane, and the parachute caught on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not successfully landed the plane. How you start and how you finish matters. Everything in the middle is up for the debate or interpretation. I don't think it was super, but I do think it was a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie. As far as ranking it, it's second to last, with the first one being the last. There was parts I enjoyed, but there wasn't the whole movie I enjoyed. I told you guys the one I enjoyed. If y'all paid attention, some of y'all know which one that is already. But maybe it's not the last one. Maybe they can come back again with your suggestion.
I'm more than certain that this is not the last one. They're going to take a break. I think that this may be the last one with Ethan being the main protagonist. I think that the next Mission Impossible movie that comes. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's plenty with the development of just everything that's happening in the political landscape right now. There's no shortage of storylines that people can come up with for why we need an IMF agent to save somebody. There's a storyline out there.
Things. Toxic gas, agents that should be secret agents. The release, they did that like multiple times. Like, this is a list of all the agents that's undercover. If this list gets out, all of our agents will be compromised. They did that like 3 times, so they can always go back to that. Also, they got the idea of a toxic chemical or some type of toxic gas or some type of something. You know what they need, Spider? I got you. You know what they need?
What?
A zombie apocalypse toxin that Ethan Hunt has to stop. And here's the thing. He don't stop it. He doesn't. The mission is a fail. And then you start to see zombies. So now the impossible mission is to find the one man. The one man that has a cure. And you gotta save him, because terrorists want him dead because they want a zombie apocalypse to happen. It's so crazy it works. Ethan Hunt without Luther, only with Benji, and for whatever reason, Haley Atwell has to be in there. Don't get me wrong, I like Haley Atwell, but she shouldn't just be the focus of the story, like the zombie apocalypse shit. I'm just trying to give you Mission Impossible 9. Final.
Biological warfare or biochemical warfare, yes, I can see. Not necessarily to the extent of zombies, because zombies aren't profitable, and anyone who has any type of
tell it to anybody that watched Walking Dead.
I'm not talking about zombie franchises. I'm talking about in the universe. You can't, if the entire world's population is turned into zombies, that leaves no one to spend money. And if nobody's spending money, that means the people in power are not earning money. If you are releasing some type of virus,
they want to stop that virus to happen.
They will want to stop the virus from happening. They would want to create I mean, this is the whole Resident Evil thing with Umbrella Corps. You want to create the virus, be responsible for it, but you also want to control the cure for it. So it's curable, but you can only go through one person to get it. That's how you make the money.
That sounds like a super villain, the type of villain that Ethan Hunt needs to stop. You know they don't use guns anymore. You ever noticed that?
What you talking about?
Ethan Hunt doesn't shoot. Ethan Hunt doesn't shoot like that. Ethan Hunt does not like that. When's the last time you see Ethan Hunt take shots like that? He beats a guy down and runs away. He doesn't kill people like that.
Well,
he kills people.
He kills people, but I didn't say he didn't kill people. I mean, because 9 times out of 10,
international spy.
9 times out of 10, he's in a situation to where he can't. You can't shoot somebody inside a submarine. You can't shoot somebody because every single time he's running behind somebody, so he's always at a disadvantage. He doesn't always have a set amount of equipment that he's going from place to place with. He
Spider about to break the MI code right now.
Because here's the thing,
see it. He ain't coming.
It's like he washed up in the Antarctic or the Arctic or wherever he was, and they had to have a set of clothes for him. You had this entire Russian force. They all had SMGs and assault rifles and everything like that. None of the IMF team picked up any of those weapons.
No, not at all. So what you saying? He not working?
I'm just saying that he's never in a position to where he has a gun for a long enough time to be able to use it effectively to kill somebody.
He don't use guns like that, which is a staple because it's always easy to use. Any creative creating right now. I'm putting this pin in your mind right now. I'm accepting you. You've been accepted. It's easy to use a gun. Your creativity starts when you don't use a gun.
But that's why I was saying that if they do another Mission Impossible, they're going to have to find somebody to take Luther's place, because everybody has that. You always have somebody on the team who their skill is weapons, some type of, whether it's knives, whether it's guns. Like we had Paris and we had deus. They were the weapons people. They would use the guns. Ethan's not using the gun. Benji's not using the gun. Grace isn't using the gun.
Benji don't even know. She's a pickpocket. She can.
Exactly. But if you have people shooting at you, you have to have some people on your team that are going to shoot back. And that's where deus and Paris came in. So Ethan doesn't need to use guns because he has teammates who do. I'm not saying that it's a viable option, because if you're in a situation where they're not around, then you get what happened when he was on the submarine and is about to get killed.
I haven't seen Ethan use a gun in so long. Like,
because he's always, again, everything about Mission Impossible is so matter of fact and so circumstantial. It's like everything has to be framed in a certain way in order for Ethan to be successful.
I'm not mad at that. I'm mad when it don't make sense.
I would argue that a good 70% of it doesn't make sense.
Welcome to the show.
But let us know what you thought about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, if you hope that they make another one, if you're excited to see Ethan Hunt back on the silver screen, and if you want to see him again. But just remember, if you like this video, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, just click the link in the description below.
And leave a comment, because we read them things.
We do read the comments.
We do read them. We don't tell y'all we read them.
Last question that I wanted to ask, and it's just a point of observation, and I didn't forget. When they were at
I wasn't going to bring it up. I wasn't going to bring it up.
I told you I wasn't going to forget. But when they were at the Arctic, when they were at the Arctic signal station, whatever, the Russians, because the Russians were intercepting communication, so they knew where to go.
Yes.
And in order for them to escape, they had to fight the Russians. And the Russians just ran away. We don't know what happened with them. We don't know what they did. But in the fight, or attempting to free themselves of Russian capture, the cabin catches fire. I want to know, what the hell was that wood treated with? Because a candle fell, the curtains went up, and I kid you not, 2 seconds passed, and a whole entire wall was aflame. Now, when you're building a home or any type of structure out of wood, it's treated in a certain way to where it's not, I'm not going to say it's inflammable, but it's not going to go up like you're lighting a piece of printer paper on fire. That building caught fire damn fast.
You Spider, seeing parchment paper catch fire.
I have seen parchment paper catch fire. I've not seen a house built out of parchment paper before. And it's like, I understand there were like cases and cases of files and all this other kind of stuff. So yes, there were a lot of flammable things in the area.
Files were made of parchment paper.
The building itself, I'm not even saying that it shouldn't have caught fire, but there's no reason that it should have caught fire as fast as it did.
Oh my God. It's like, that was a
we spent a full, I don't know, like 15 minutes with Ethan in the submarine, him going from room to room to room to room. And it's like all of that time that we took up with him being in the submarine and the submarine rolling down the cliff, they were like, oh, okay, well, we don't have enough time to deal with this other situation for them to get out. So let's just light it on fire and boom, the whole thing's on fire.
Don't worry about it. I got an idea.
It was so fast. Oh my
God. Listen, I don't know what type of accelerant was on that goddamn.
And wood. we talked about Download having his life uprooted because Ethan got him reassigned because he was responsible for that room, and Innocuous got stolen. What's going to happen now that your whole signaling station has been burnt down and you're nowhere to be found? You and your wife are gone. This man had a job.
We talked about this before we stationed you there. You lost your job. Now that job is gone. You better claim unemployment for 17 weeks. So however long you better live off the land.
He's got to have tenure or something. He's got to have something where they can't fire him. They're gonna relocate him to the desert next or something. I don't know.
Don't take him off your Christmas list. You do not need Ethan on your goddamn list at all. He does not love you.
I was like, I understand the series of events.
Every time I see you, dude. Every time
but it's not even him seeing him because he didn't see him in the vault. He didn't see him at the signaling station. It wasn't until after. But then he still saves his life. Well, not even save Ethan's life. He's saving his team because he stopped the bomb from going off. But every time he comes into contact with his team, this man's life is ruined.
Like, goddamn, dude, can you just leave me alone? God, I just want to love my wife. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Oh, goddamn, whole goddamn thing burned up.
The whole thing.
I don't know what it was made with, Spire. That's a great question.
It was made out of
and parchment paper.
They had extra flammable paint on the inside of the walls or something. I don't know.
Like, listen. I can get you this house pretty cheap, but I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, besides it is in the middle of the Arctic. I can't imagine it was that expensive.
I have to cut some corners. I'm not gonna do the insulation, and I'm gonna do all your goddamn sheetrock with parchment paper.
It wasn't. It was just wood. It was just wood. No sheet. It was. I mean, it was that that particle board. That's what it was.
Oh my God, that was a bad one. That's not fire rated. I can tell you that.
No,
I can tell you that's not fire rated.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God, who is your guy? You should have called us.
I don't know.
You should have called us. We could have helped you out. Your whole goddamn shit's burned down. It was a campfire. That's what it was.
It's just a puddle now. It's just a big puddle in the snow.
That's what insurance is for. Hey, now you understand why insurance don't fuck with Tom Cruise, okay?
God damn it, he burned down another one.
Learn something from farmers, okay?
Cars,
we are farmers.
Buildings, don't matter.
Call the Allstate man. Call the Allstate.
Tom Cruise is mayhem.
Call Jake from State Farm.
Ethan Hunt is mayhem. That is what it is. Ethan Hunt is mayhem.
From mayhem like
Ethan Hunt is mayhem. The man cannot go anywhere without causing a public disaster.
Look, what they say in Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, we didn't tell you to do it. You didn't do what the mission told you to do, but you saved the world. you went rogue before rogue was a thing. You started doing your own shit, but you saved the world, so we can't really be mad at you. So
that's how he gets by.
Come in and bring the key.
You can't
come in and now.
You can't argue with the results.
Do my own thing.
You may question his methods, but you cannot argue with the results.
But they said that. Remember when Alan Thicke was the director of the MIF, the IMF?
Yeah, that was what, one or two.
Yeah, there was. Well, that was like 4 or 5.
Was
they were saying that they were saying that the methods that what they do was sheer luck because showing what happened, it was like there's no freaking way that they were able to save the day
and
without
they never let go of that
everything that you're saying. Deus machina. So deus machina it is. I don't know how they could have did it without it, but clearly it ran its course on this one. So for me, I think I appreciate the Mission Impossible franchise. I hope there's another one to kind of set it. This is like the finish, but like the last one will be like the presentation. And like you said, maybe it is a passing of the torch in this final one.
Because I wouldn't be mad with
Final Reckoning. It's just like Mission Impossible Rebirth or Mission Impossible Born Again or some
Mission Impossible Evolution or Mission Impossible
something like that. Yeah, and you pass the torch from Ethan. Fuck, Ethan might even get killed because realistically,
I'm not saying he has to die because I don't think I seriously I've truly believe.
But how can you retire? How can you retire when you're not driven? You're not driven by finances. You're not going for money. Mm-hmm. You're not going for duty because you don't have a claim to a country. You're really just saving the world. This is a mission that's impossible to do, but I call you because you do the impossible.
Right.
If you died on a mission, it's not a bad send-off because you did everything. Like, there has to be a compelling reason for you to risk it all for this.
Right.
And I think money has never have been a motivator because he can get anywhere in the world. You've seen him drive some exotic, expensive cars,
and they always have the latest technology equipment. They always I won't say never, but they very rarely find themselves. They very rarely find themselves in a situation where they're ill-equipped. Like they like they come up with the wildest.
Even when they cut off funding,
right? They come up with the wildest plans.
One that I like, they cut off funding. Yeah, go ahead.
And no matter what crazy schemes they come up with, they always have everything that they need, or they always have means to get what they need.
Like you said, they got masks. They have masks. The masks might not work, but they do have access to masks.
But this is the thing, like
somewhere along the line, there's a mask.
Like when they got when they were getting Paris out of the prison, it's like, okay, well, where did they get the prison guard uniforms from?
That's just a part of what they do. That's just a part of that.
They got a seamstress on retainer. They're like, hey, I need the prison uniforms for this French prison or wherever she was.
Remember when they broke into the Kremlin? Like Tom Cruise was wearing a partial mask, kind of a mask, but not all of a mask. Benji wasn't wearing a mask at all. I like that. Like that part of the movie is something that I enjoy.
Yeah, and then like when he was leaving, like he turned his jacket inside out and was like casual clothes.
Right. That's putting you in the spy world. Like this is what it would be like. Like you wouldn't notice that he changed his jacket because just that fast. You're not thinking of a reversible jacket, but really that changes unless you're watching him directly. You're not paying attention to that. And it's just that small little nuances that'll make you get away.
Yeah.
And being able to incorporate that throughout the franchise, I appreciate the mask. Because you couldn't do anything with it without like at one point, like 2, 3, the mask was a focal point. You seen in 2, I think there was, where the villain even had a mask and he pulled it off because he was pretending to be Ethan Hunt.
Right.
And it was like, I forget the actress name. She was like, she was fooled. She thought it was Ethan Hunt. And you saw the expression on his face, like, she really loves him. She's betraying me. She's thinking she's talking to him. I have all the evidence that I need. Like, that was a pivotal point. And then later on, how they brought the mask in, either they work or they don't work, or we can't wear the mask. He never seen Lark. I have to risk it. I gotta risk it because we gotta go. It's a part of the mission. And here's another situation. I need the mask. It's not working. Oh my God, what are we doing? Or another situation. Now the mask is there, or it's not there. And ha ha ha, there's a mask the whole time. Like that's theirs. That's Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
They own the whole pull a mask off thing. And I love the fact that they own it, but they can only use it in so many different ways without putting the emphasis on it. And I loved how they did it in this one because you didn't think, you was like, okay, we know Paris is trapped and we know that they need to get her, but to come up and they're already there and they already got the mask.
Yeah, we didn't need to go through the whole setup and walk through the plan and all that stuff. Yeah,
no, because it's a staple now for the franchise. So we knew any given point in time, if anybody pull a mask off, this part is what you were expecting.
Right.
And you should expect it to come from anyone, but you're not because it's an MI movie and you're thinking, okay, well, we're following Ethan and then we're following his mission. But next thing you know, you see some guy pull this off. It is Ethan. He is just that good. I'm not mad at this movie. I'm just mad at the storyline.
That's fair. It's 100% fair.
Better. They could have did better. I love Mission Impossible. I want to see Tom Cruise run. Run, Tom Cruise. Run for president. Run. I remember he did a political campaign he was running. No, he did one. He did one for real. You can look it up on
I'll pass.
Google?
I'm sure you can look anything up on Google. But anyway, we'll see if at some point in the future, if there is another Mission Impossible film to come out. But whenever that does or does, Jesus, you can't wait. What? No, that's an oxymoron. You can't have that. No. Not happening that way, but we'll see what happens with the whole franchise. Hopefully when we do, you'll be right here along with us. But thank you all so much for joining us in this episode. We love all the support and we appreciate you being here. We hope you see you in the next one. But remember, until then, keep being super.